Okay, collaboration beers. This one is interesting because usually collaboration beers are between two breweries, but on this occasion, and I've seen a few of them around Ireland, this one is a collaboration between Brewery and Craft Central, which is beer specialists in Dublin. They've hundreds of beers all online on craftcentral.ie. I'll put a link below. Anyway, up next, Brewery and Craft Central King Nelson Single Hop Nelson Sauvin IPA. Welcome back to Views on Brews. I am Brendan, and this is another beer from Brewery, which I picked up. I was really excited to because I've just brewed a single hop IPA with Nelson Sauvin hops. So I now get to compare the flavor profile of one that's brewed commercially against my homebrew setup, where I know I'm going to get a bit of oxidation in my beer. But Nelson Sauvin is just such an incredible hop to use, especially if you're brewing a lighter colored beer and you're looking for delicate but pronounced flavor profile aromas going on in your beer. It's a distinct hop. There's a few really distinct hops out there. One of them is Nelson Sauvin. It's very expensive. As the name suggests, it's Sauvin. It gets that name because Sauvignon Blanc hops, grapes, which is characteristic of the hop. But there's also different other aromas going on in the beer as well. Anyway, a little bit about it. This is part of their Urban Jungle series. Just have a look at the can there. I'm not sure if I'm showing the right part of it. Okay, so I'll just read the spiel on the back. Just one thing to note, like when I squeeze the can, there's a little bit of give in it. Recently, I've had a couple of beers that have been really highly carbonated and canned. And when you try to squeeze them, there's no give in them. So I know this one, just a little tip. So I know this is going to be nicely carbonated and not not undercarbonated, and they can be soft and easily to squeeze, or overcarbonated and it's bulging at the top. It seems to be done perfectly well. It says brewed in collaboration with our friends at Craft Central. Just have a look at the, I don't know if you can see that, if it'll focus in on Craft Central there. They've got a crazy website with literally hundreds and hundreds of craft beers from everywhere. Look them up. Nelson Sauvin takes center stage in this bold single hop IPA. King Nelson is brimming. Oh, that's the name of the beer. Sorry, yeah. King Nelson is brimming with the aromas and flavors of juicy mango, sweet lychee. Lychee is definitely something that you get out of this. Honeyed apricots, that's interesting. Crushed gooseberry, which you always get from Nelson Sauvin, alongside nuanced white wine qualities. Where are we? The unique characteristics of this New Zealand hop are complemented by a base of 5 malts. That's interesting. Giving this beer a satisfying mouthfeel while letting the Nelson Sauvin shine through. So 5 malts in here. So not as I initially predicted. The beer that I've brewed myself is a very pale shade. I wanted to allow as much hop profile as I can to come through in the beer, so therefore I decided to put less maltier style malts in the beer. But let's see what they've gone with here. This has just been out of the fridge now for about 40 minutes. Oh, it is still fairly light. There's a bit of colour to it. Got my brewery branded stem julep glass. Decent amount of haze going on in there. Medium carbonation and a nice densely compact small bubble head of white foam. And as you can see, there's a decent amount of lacing going on in the beer as well. Just have a look at that. Straw golden with a tinge of orange going through it. Well, having tasted a few of my own homebrew beers, I can say which I should be able to say, is that I get exactly the same aroma on the nose. Now, I'd never described it to myself as apricots, but I can see how they do use that as a flavor descriptor. There's kind of a delicate perfumey aroma, and apricot is perfumey, as is peach, as are grapes. So that's an interesting thing. There's a bit of sweetness going on the nose. And there's actually a bit of mango and a bit of tropical fruit going on in there as well. Gooseberries and white wine, not getting them just yet, but we'll see. Anyway, cheers, Sláinte, and well done to Craft Central and Brewery for teaming up and making this beer. I love Nelson Sauvin hops, so that's a great start. Straight away, I get that immediate effect that the grapes have on you. They dry out the palate, and I can feel that straight away. So just initially, before I even think about the flavors, I'm thinking about what the hops are actually doing, and they're just drying out straight away on contact around the back part of the mouth. Very interesting. And there's a really enjoyable, soft, but there is a bit of bitterness going on in here as well. But it's not obtrusive at all. It's just like a lingering bitterness that's just very mellow. Well, it's distinct, but it's not like a piney resinous bitterness, we'll say. Yeah, nice medium mouthfeel to the beer. Now, I get all of those tropical fruits coming through, but the thing that really takes over this is that acidity that you get from gooseberries, like green sharpness, and the same that you get in white wine grapes. So Nelson Sauvin hops are meant to taste like Sauvignon Blanc hops, and they absolutely do. And the more I drink it now, the more it's coming through and building on the palate, which is really nice. A really well made beer. I'm interested now to know what malts they used in this. There is like a maltiness going on in here. They've got their meter on the back, which says 100% hoppy and about 40% malty. Doesn't say what malts they used, but looking at it, I don't know, maybe there's a touch of Vienna in there. I don't know. I'm going to go with, there'll be a very pale malt. There'll be either a Pils malt or a pale malt, oats, wheat, maybe a touch of Vienna in there, maybe a touch of crystal malt. I don't know. But I'm sure some of those malts are in there, but they've kept it fairly pale even so. You get a bit of that malt characteristic going on. It's not like a platform for the hops alone. There is a bit of maltiness going on, but it supports the hop, and the bitterness there is just keeps coming along. It's really nice. That grape characteristic is just incredible in these hops, and there just aren't any other hops that do that, not in the same way, and that's why this is just such a unique hop, and that's why the hop is so very expensive when you go to buy it as a home brewer. But yeah, that's my view on this brew. It's really nice, and I have to say it tastes it's 6.2%. Doesn't taste that strong actually, which is good. Yeah, I would love to sink a few of these. 6.2 is quite strong, so I've only one can, but yeah, it's not one of those that you could have too many of in the night. But and I don't know, are they going to carry on brewing it, or is it just a one-off or a once a year, or just that one time, or do they add it to the range because they like it? Love the artwork again. Yeah. Anyway, Craft Central, beer specialist. Check them out. Brewery. Check them out. There's a girl in Craft Central who I don't know her, but I've read her blog a couple of times. Radka's beer blog, I think it might be called. Check that out. If I can, I'll link it underneath as well. She's mad into her beer, knows quite a lot about it, and yeah, anyway, cool beer. I really enjoyed it. Similar to my homebrew, thankfully. So I haven't done too bad of a job on my beer. That's what this beer tells me. Yeah, that's my view on this brew, and it's on to the next one. Cheers, sláinte, and goodbye.